So, Minnesota traded for PJ Hall. And just so some of you guys who may not have ever heard of PJ Hall, he was a second round draft pick in 2018 by the Raiders of Oakland at the time. But his combine measurements, he came in at, pro day, Sam Houston State. 6 foot, 308. This is where the man is athletic and off the charts. 4.7, 340, a 1.7 flat 10-yard split, 2.78 in the 20-yard split. Shuttle 4.77, 3-cone 7.92, a 38-inch vert, a 9'8" broad jump, and 36 bench reps. So he tested off the charts, which is, that's pretty good. But so why would the Las Vegas? Oh, that sounds weird. But why would they try to get rid of him? Well, about a week ago, Gruden was actually on record for saying that he came into camp a little bit overweight last season and was curious how that would go over. And that almost sounds like repeat, because last year Michael Pierce was on the same deal and they brought him in and now he's out again. And Mayock has questioned his work ethic a little bit. And by quoting, PJ's got a challenge. We have a new defensive line coach coming in, and trust me, Rod Marinelli doesn't put up with anything but 100% hustle. Nothing but. So, 2 years into it, they felt he was pretty much a lazy player and overweight and had those kinds of problems and didn't really care much. So, despite the athleticism and how naturally talented he was, they just thought it wasn't worth it, and that's why he's now a Minnesota Viking for a conditional 2021 7th round pick. But what can he do in Minnesota? Well, I think he's going to compete for a spot that is completely wide open. And statistically, he compares pretty well with the guys I would think were probably in the lead for the 3-tech spot. With Jaleel, PJ Hall had 5 tackles for loss, as did Jaleel. Hall 3 hurries, Jaleel 1. Quarterback knockdowns, both of them had 1. They both had 6 pressures. Jaleel did have 3.5 sacks, while Hall had 1.5. And quarterback hits 3 for Hall, 5 for Jaleel. Armon Watts is also in there, but he didn't play a lot last year. And he was able to log in 2 pressures, 1.5 sacks, and 1 quarterback hit, but everything else was a goose egg. And then you also have James Lynch coming in, the 4th round rookie. Jalen Holmes and Hercules Mataafa might also be in the mix here. So we just got this one giant cluster. And so this 3-tech spot is wide open. And Hall just kind of became the most talented one in the group out of nowhere. So one reason why Mike Zimmer, despite the potential work ethic and laziness kind of problems of this player, well, he compares well, at least from a metric standpoint, to Geno Atkins. If you remember him from Cincinnati, Zimmer had him, and he's been pretty good. He's been pretty solid over there in Cincy. But in comparison, Hall 6 foot, Geno 6'1", weight 308 to 293. The 4.73 for Hall, 4.85 for Atkins, 10-yard split, 1.7 for Hall. Atkins 1.75, 2.78 20-yard split, 2.86 for Atkins. Where you do see a kind of a large difference is in shuttle and 3-cone. Geno Atkins is a lot more, lateral this way, where Hall is better at getting vertical. Because the 3-cone is 7.92 for Hall, which isn't really that bad for a defensive tackle, but 7.33 and a 4.43 in the shuttle and 3-cone is ridiculous for Geno Atkins. So It is what it is, but in the 3-cone, 792 for Hall, 733 for Atkins, Shuttle 477, and Atkins is at 443. Verts, 38 inch to 33, 9'8" broad to 9'9", and the bench reps are 36 to 34. So they're fairly comparable, and you can probably imagine a similar role planned if he's able to win the job, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing. We'll still have to see. It's not like he was, I don't think his spot is necessarily safe, but he is by far the most talented of the group now. And I still don't think this would change Minnesota's mind on adding a nose tackle if they want to. He is not a nose tackle. Michael Pierce still leaves a big hole. And I still think they need a new one because, in my mind, if they didn't deem Jaleel Johnson or Shamar Stephen good enough to not pay Michael Pierce $9 million a season, that wouldn't have been their first addition to the team. And that just makes sense to me. And you still have guys like Darius and, Harrison out there that you could potentially bring in for this role. So I would still think they'd be in the market for a nose tackle. I don't think this changes that. I think they saw an opportunity to get a guy who is a superb athlete at his position and just like, well, let's kick the tires and see what happens. And that's what that is. So we'll add him to the melting pot, see what happens, how this competition goes. I would like to know your guys' thoughts and comment down below. It is there for a reason. Like and subscribing, super helpful. Until next time, happy challenging.